Report shows nearly 1 in 4 children in Alabama is dealing with food insecurity. Simply put, they might not know where their next meal is coming from. A new study shows 235,000 people in central Alabama are dealing with food insecurity.
Well, the number of Pennsylvania families who need help putting food on the table is only growing.
Yeah.
Did you know that food is more than just what's on your plate? Food is a basic human right. It's not just about feeling full, but it's about clean, nutritious, and safe food that supports us to live a healthy life. Food security is crucial for any community or nation. It means having reliable access to enough quality of food. But what can you do when the food is scarce? What can we do when the people can't afford the right type of food, or even the food lacks the nutrients we need? This is when food insecurity begins to take hold. That is exactly what's happening in some parts of the world, including Indonesia, where millions of people face the daily struggle of not having enough access to food. These days, food insecurity is a real problem. It affects not only the body, but also economic issues and society as a whole. When food is hard to access or too expensive, families in rural areas, children in low-income households, and even the elderly who live alone are forced to make difficult choices, either to eat in smaller portions, skipping meals, or rely on cheap, low-nutrient food just to get by. Recognizing this problem, Indonesian government has stood up by strengthening food security. The strategy involves increasing rice productions, improving infrastructures in remote regions, and also reducing poverty and malnutrition rates. This effort aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals point 2, which is zero hunger. And the good news is there has been a real progress that Indonesian Bureau of Statistics shows. The percentage of Indonesians experiencing in moderate or severe food insecurity has been declining from 2020 to 2023. So we could say that there has been a promising signs that with the continued collaboration between the governments, there might be a better improvements or developments of food security in the future.
Kepala BMKG Dwi Korita Karnawati mengungkapkan kekurangan pangan ini akan dialami semua negara di dunia termasuk Indonesia.
Indonesia ini ternyata mengalami kekurangan stok beras. Kekurangan ini mencapai 2,8 juta ton.
Based on the food dimensions according to the World Bank, food conditions in Indonesia are still not perfect. As we know, food availability comes from three aspects, which is production, stocks, and trade. Food production is the main foundation that ensures supplies from the fields to the table. However, without the efficient stock management, food can go to waste due to the spoilage or late distribution. Trade equally important. Trade is the bridge that connects different regions and balances food availability across archipelago. Food production in Indonesia has great potential, with major commodities such as rice, corn, and soybeans. However, climate fluctuations, limited agricultural technology, and market access are still major obstacles. Food stocks, on the other hand, often face challenges of suboptimal management and record keeping, which is leading to the imbalance of supply and demand. Based on the Food Balance Report issued by the Food News Agency, there are still many key foods that still have to be met through a depot, such as soybeans, 80% and 90% import, sugar, 65% and 70% import, garlic, 90% and 95% import, and beef, 25% and 30% import. Based on data from the Food Security and Vulnerability Atlas or FSPA, food security is measured through the Food Security Index, which assesses food availability, affordability, and utilization. Unfortunately, there are 62 districts and cities in Indonesia that fall into the vulnerable category of food insecurity, divided into three priorities, with the majority of priority 1 areas located in Papua and West Papua. Timur in 2004 said that the food security is closely related to the government's ability to maintain the food prices and the country's abilities to provide enough food to the entire community in affordable prices. So, what have been the government's plan so far? Indonesia's food security policy in 2020 and 2024 more focuses on increasing the food diverse and sustainability of local food production, and also improving the food access and distribution, ensuring the food safety and quality, and also addressing the systemic nutrition problem through the cross-sectoral synergies and increasing the role of community. The government is improving food distribution by building transportation and logistics infrastructure and optimizing international trade without neglecting domestic production. Food price stability is maintained through market policies and support for MSMEs.
In this digital era, artificial intelligence or AI are an essential tools on managing food insecurity. But beyond just collecting data, AI transforms into how decisions are made. Government now can turn complex data such as climate shift or household actions consumptions into a more actionable evidence. According to 2020, AI systems can detect the pattern of food insecurity before the evidence is visible. This can provide policymakers with critical lead time to act. AI also supports policy planning through simulations. As shown by Nguyen 2021, governments can model a complex what-if situations like a 10% rise in rice price or crop failures in East Java to predict on how the population will be affected. This model will help inform the targeted subsidies, logistic plannings, and emergency response strategies.
To understand food insecurity in Indonesia using AI, we need relevant and measurable data. A key indicator is food price inflation, the annual change in the food component of the consumer price index. Nearly half of lower middle income countries face food inflation above 5%, including Indonesia, where data from the Central Bureau of Statistics helps AI detect when and where food price becomes unaffordable. Another important indicator is rice prices and national food reserve. In March 2025, the government lowered rice prices through market operation and subsidies. Weekly data from the National Food Agency enables AI to monitor high price area and effective interventions. Rice reserve measured in millions of tons predicts supply resilience. On production, the government targets high rice output early 2025 and protects paddy fields in multiple provinces. AI used this data to forecast surpluses, deficits, and risks from extreme weather. Social data is also vital. In Southeast Asia, many households still face food shortages and use coping strategies like reducing food quality. Indonesia's national surveys provide similar data. AI can analyze this to identify vulnerable groups such as smallholder farmers and female-headed households, improving the targeting of food aid programs. Addressing food insecurity is not about production and distribution, but also data availability. Indonesia is one example of a country in Southeast Asia where a recording data is not inclusive, creating policy gaps that deepen inequality. Some of shortcomings in the NFA information system are: first, the data presentation system are difficult to understand. This is because the tables and graphs that are visualized are not clear and lack context explanations, making them less user-friendly. Second, the information systems are not well known to a wide audience. The lack of socialization or promotion makes this system accessible to a limited circle, even though it has great potential to support food security. And the third, the regional information system is still incomplete. Some provinces or districts still do not have a digital platform for their own food information system, making it less integrated with the NABA. As a result, many regions are not represented in the national food system.
To fill these gaps, we propose several approaches. First is to integrate data across regions by map out nutrition status. Second is to do surveys by targeting vulnerable groups so that we could ensure that the policy making is inclusive. Third is to analyze socio-economic drivers to vulnerability, because food insecurity is not just something that happens in an instant. The usage of leveraging AI and technology, the use of sensors in soil, smart weather monitoring, and AI-powered prediction can help farmers. According to Microsoft Asia, some innovators in Indonesia has already used these tools to increase yields and adapt to climate change. So it will be good if we also use the greater goods of these tools. We also propose the use of digital platforms so that citizens could always inform the shortage of food or even local problems. In the application, AI could help sort the incoming message and also highlights the urgent issues.
So what's the solution? New data has been gathered from various sources like agricultural sensors or market price records, even climate data, can provide a more holistic view on food security problems. This also can emphasize that cross-sectoral data can help us understand more about the food security problems in Indonesia.
Furthermore, RIS 2022 has gathered data from NGOs, indigenous groups, local business, or even communities in general, often excluded in policymaking process. So, returning to our earlier questions, what can we do? Government and tech developers can try to improve digital literacy through education campaign or making tools into basic public services. For example, we can try to make nutrition monitoring features into BPJS or local food e-commerce. That way, the public isn't just a data object, but also an active participant in securing our food security. To work well, AI needs strong and diverse data. That includes satellite image, soil sensors, climate data, and also social surveys. Kamala says that combining resources can make AI build a more accurate food insecurity maps. Jones also shows that combining farming, economics, and climate data can make a predictions accuracy from 68% to 91%. Federated learnings help AI learn from many regions without moving the data. Durant research shows that it is a safer option and still can improve accuracy.
Addressing food insecurity is not something that can be solved instantly. It requires a well-planned strategy and cross-sectoral cooperation, including agriculture, trade, and protection for vulnerable groups. Therefore, in the future, we can address this issue with the following steps. First is delivering agricultural extension programs, infrastructure, and education to support farmers to grow and market nutritious food. Environmentally friendly agriculture prioritizes sustainability and improving farmers' socio-economic status. It addresses environmental issues while meeting rising food demand by focusing on quality, producing nutritious food sustainably, and quantity, increasing output if quality is stable. Extension workers play a vital role as motivators, facilitators, teachers, and friends to farmers, helping them adopt sustainable practice and improve welfare. They provide reliable information and support farmers in decision-making by expanding their options and explaining consequences. Effectiveness in achieving knowledge, attitudes, and skill goals is a key for sustainable agricultural development. As social agents, extension workers help maintain agricultural system stability and promotes long-term production of healthy, eco-friendly food. The second is designing trade policies to prioritize the supply of nutritious food over manufactured high in fats, sugar, and salt and their ingredients, taking account of the benefit of local and international supply chains in different contexts, the protection of smallholder farmers, and the availability of complementary policy. Trade policy should favor distributing nutritious food over high sugar, salt, and fat products. The government can incentivize local producers of fruits, vegetables, and healthy proteins with subsidy, tax breaks, and impose taxes or restriction on unhealthy ultra-processed foods. Optimizing local and international supply chains is crucial to fairly distribute nutritious food. Improving logistics, transport, food storage, and digital system help farmers reach consumers directly and reduce post-harvest loss. Food regionalization, where regions focus on key commodities, boosts distribution efficiency and national food security. Protecting small farmers is essential since they face market, technology, and financing gaps. Support through cooperatives, farmer-friendly financing, private sector partnership, and sustainable farming training will increase nutritious food production locally and empower farmers in the food system.